Everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada, and you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Sunday today, lovely day here. We're kind of starting a 3-day heat wave, which for us is getting up to about 31 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, 62 in the 90s. That gets pretty warm here with our humidity, so not looking forward to that. So if you hear the air conditioner in the background, apologies. It's a little warm in my craft room. I'm above the garage, and so it gets kind of warm up here. But I'm spending a little bit of time crafting. I had a team meeting this morning. It's always fun to get together with my team and see what they're up to, and I was able to show them some of the new products that are coming, in the Stampin' Up! Mini catalog and online exclusives that come out September 3rd for customers. So if you want to get your hands on those early, the way to do that is to sign up as part of my team, and you will be able to order your products from the new catalogs and the online exclusives early. Amazing time thing. One of the perks and the best perks about being a demonstrator is early access to product. All right, so today I'm going to make a faux step card. It's been a little while since I've made one of those. Hey, Bonnie. And I'm using one of my absolute favorite bundles that was one of the May online exclusives called Sunrise Sailing. I love this. Maybe it's because my husband and I had a sailboat for 14 years on the West Coast. So sailing is in my blood, and so I absolutely love this bundle, and I thought it would be fun to make a faux step card. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, I'm going to switch over to my desktop and we'll get started. Okay, so this is the Sunrise Sailing Bundle. It is a hybrid embossing folder bundle, which is, I love these, so you can emboss and cut out at the same time. So the stamp set has this lovely sailboat, some waves, and some really fun sentiments. And then it comes, of course, with the dies, so you can cut out this sailboat, but you can also cut out some little sailboats that you can kind of put together. Some clouds, these are for some waves, so I've already cut those out. It's just, yeah, and even you can cut out some little tiny, very delicate seagulls. And then the embossing folder you can just use to emboss, which I have done on this piece of cloud cover cardstock. Or you could use this die and put inside. So it goes on the side that has the Stampin' Up! Logo, and it just kind of fits in until it kind of doesn't move around. And then you put your cardstock over top of that, and it will emboss. See this raised image and cut out, which is so fun. So we might try that because you can actually stamp and emboss, stamp and then cut and emboss. Okay, a step card. This is a faux step card. So the fun about these and what makes it easy is you don't actually have to do the scoring and the cutting on one sheet of cardstock. So I have a piece that is 5.5 by 8.5, and I've already gone ahead and I've scored it because I was making sure I had the scoring correct. I've scored it at 1 inch, 2 inches, and 5.25. And so when you fold, it gets folded in mountain. So we're starting at the small, the 1 inch. So mountain, valley, mountain. And that forms your main card base. So we'll just take those and give it a really good burnish. There. So that's the base. It's going to sit like that and hold it. So you need a second piece of cardstock. Now this can be any width you want. I've actually cut this to be 3.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4.25. So this is the step part. Well, there's actually a couple of steps. There's a step there, and then this is the step, the second step. And the reason it's called a faux step card is there's no cutting. Normally, if you were going to make a step card, you would do this scoring and then you would cut perpendicular to that, and so it would fold up, and I always get very confused by that. So faux step cards are my favorite things to make. You can make it either portrait or landscape. This is a landscape card. And so this is going to fit on like that. It's going to adhere to this front step and then to the back of the card, and it will sit like that. Now there's no room, well actually there is, and yes I do have a piece of basic white, so you can actually put your basic white on the inside or something in there so that you can do the writing. Okay, so that's everything kind of cut for the card bases. Now for the front of the card, I cut a piece this is cloud cover, that's 3 3/4 by 4, and I already went ahead and embossed it using the embossing folder. So we're just going to take and adhere that to the front of the card. I love the color combination of Secret Sea, which is what my card base is, and Cloud Cover. 2 new in colors, which for the month of August, in colors, the new in colors, are 15% off. And so whether it's ink pads or cardstock or embellishments, or what am I forgetting? Blends, and even any products that contain, so designer series paper or kits that contain the new in colors, you can get for 15% off. Now this piece can go wherever you want it, so you can put it to one side, you could put it in the middle. I did cut a couple of these waves off, but they're not really going to show very well. I was thinking I was going to put them along here, which I might still do. And then this over top. Yeah, I think I will still do that. I'm just going to poke my little bits out. So these kind of pieces kind of fit one on top of the other like that, so that you kind of get the 2-dimensional or the 3-dimensional wave. What am I thinking? Okay, so that's going to go on like that. So we can just take, and I will just trim off the excess. Oopsie, let's get it going the right way. You could use dimensionals to put this on with, but I'm just using liquid glue. And I got, oopsie, lights, touching lights, and they're going off here. There we go. Glue on my fingers. So I can just take and trim this just a little bit. Like that. Alright, so then this piece, like I said, is going to fit right over top. So it goes right over the whole card. And you're only going to put glue on this little bottom section, so you don't want to go crazy with your glue. And you can put it wherever you want. I'm going to put mine roughly in the middle of my card. So we'll glue that part on first. And then this piece is going to glue. It's feeling like it's not straight. There we go. It's going to glue onto the back. So I'm just going to put my glue on the back like that. Okay, that's the most of my card kind of set. I love full step cards because they are so easy to do. But what we're going to do now is we're going to stamp our sailboat. So we're going to stamp sailboat using Secret Sea, and then the sails and something else, the boat. Find a block. There we go. So we'll stamp the boat itself in Secret C. Like that. And then I'm going to stamp the sails. Now remember, we don't have the full ink pad, the full-size ink pad for cloud cover because of the quality issue. So if you want an ink pad with cloud cover, you buy the re-inker and then the uninked stamp pads. They come 5 in a package, and so then you can use that to get, it's kind of the color of our sailboat. The sails and the body was kind of a light blue, a little more azure afternoon blue. And there's the boat itself. Do very good on that one. Okay, put that on. Now while I have my ink out, I have pulled a sentiment from this is the Notes and Totes stamp set, which I love the sentiment. So I'm going to use this one, Relax and Enjoy. And I'm going to stamp that in Secret C. I'm going to cut that out. And the other stamp I have is this little one. It's Ahoy, which, drop my ink, or drop my block. There we go. So I've got the Ahoy stamped as well. And I do need a piece. So let me measure, because I forgot to cut a piece of basic white for the inside of the card. So this piece needs to be 3 inches by 5 1/4. So 3 inches by 5 1/4. So this is going to be for the inside of my card. While I have my ink out, I'm going to stamp the waves. On the bottom. Okay, I think I have all my stamping done now, so that will go on the inside of the card. Okay, so I have my stamped sailboat. So to cut this out and get the embossing, you need this die, the sailboat die, and it's gonna, like I said, fit on the side that has the Stampin' Up! Logo with the cutting side up. So just put that in until it stops kind of moving around. Now you can kind of see, at least I can, the ink, and so you can kind of almost position it where it needs to go. Gently close it, and now you can take and just kind of shift it while holding it so that it doesn't all move. I really just want to move the paper and not have the die come out. And so now I've got it positioned, the paper, where it needs to cut out, and so when it cuts, we should get both you have it cut out as well as embossed. And so for this, you use the same setup as you would if you were just going to emboss. And so I've got my piece, it hasn't shifted, so I've got my cutting platform number 1 and then plate number 4, which is the plate you use for a hybrid embossing folder or for a 3D embossing folder. Run it through and it will cut and emboss at the same time. So we get our, and you won't be able to see that, but the sails are actually raised, so it just kind of puffs up the sails a little bit. And so that I'm just going to put right on top using dimensionals, right on top of that other embossed image. And let's Let's use some mini dimensionals across the bottom. I just have a hard time with the mini dimensionals. I have a hard time. They kind of, my fingers don't seem to want to pull them off. So the take your pick tool is perfect to kind of grab all the backings, but I also often use it to pull the mini dimensionals in particular off of the sheet of dimensionals. So this is going to go right on top of that other sailboat, the embossed sailboat. I went ahead and cut out a couple of clouds. Now these could be cut off, or you could leave them longer. I'm going to actually put them on with dimensionals and then cut off the extra. Since they're not sticking out over the the outside of the card, you could leave them and not cut them off, but I kind of just like the look of them cut off. And so I'm just going to take my paper snips and trim them. Like that. Okay, so then the last two things, this is going to go on the inside. Of the card. So this does leave you a little bit of room. If you want more room, you could put a piece of basic white or whatever color you want on the back of the card for writing. And then I have 2 sentiments. So I'm going to just take, I kind of wish I had stamped on on the clouds, this ahoy, but I'm going to just cut this out and then use dimensionals to pop it up. So there's the ahoy. Relax and enjoy. So if you don't like fussy cutting, one of the tricks is that you steer the paper. So I'm steering it with not the scissors. So I'm really moving the paper around, and you may find that it makes fussy cutting a little easier for you. Ahoy. Just going to use a little bit of glue on this one. I was going to use dimensionals, but because I've used dimensionals on my cloud, I'm just going to glue that down. All right, I'm going to cut this into individual words. Mini-dimensional. Relax. Let's make this one a little nicer. Should have thought this one out a little bit more than I did with where I was going to put my sentiments, but that's okay. Relax and relax and enjoy. Oh, I really like the color of this with the secret sea and the cloud cover. Now we always have to have embellishments, even though this is a bit of a masculine card. These are the iridescent pearls, and so they're really tiny, but I thought that they would be just kind of fun little embellishments to use. I've got lots of space here on the two sides, and I usually only put 3 on, but these are pretty tiny, so we'll put 2 on one side and 1 on the other. There we go. So there is a faux step card. So easy, because you need 2 pieces of paper or 2 pieces of cardstock instead of 1, and it's using the sunrise sailing and then the sentiment from Notes and Totes. Makes me feel like I want to go sailing. And that's the inside. Easy to do, and so much easier if you're 3-dimensionally challenged like I am. I struggle with 3-dimensional things. Then this is much easier to make than figuring out how to score and cut on the same piece of cardstock. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me today. I hope you are able to spend a little bit of time in your craft room today, or at some point this week. I will be live again on Tuesday at 6:30 with my sketch, so come and join me.